Americans spent $36 billion on video games in 2017. The gamification market is estimated to grow from $1.65 billion in 2015 to $11.10 billion by 2020. In addition, according to Pew Research, 50% of corporate innovation will be gamified by next year. Gamification is the use of game design elements in non-game contexts to motivate and engage the learner. It is gaining momentum in many areas, including education. Carl Kapp defines gamification as the use of game-based mechanics, aesthetics, and game thinking to engage people, motivate action, promote learning, and solve problems. Gamification involves incorporating game elements to motivate learners. Some of these elements include the following: immediate feedback, fun, scaffolded learning with challenges that increase, mastery, leveling up, progress indicators, points, badges, leaderboards, having a social connection, and player control. In 1980, Thomas Malone published the study, What Makes Things Fun to Learn?, a study of intrinsically motivating computer games. This study sought to discover why computer games were so appealing, and if the components of computer games could be used to make learning more interesting. Malone discovered the elements of challenge, fantasy, and curiosity were what made learning with computers interesting and enjoyable. The term gamification was first coined in 2003 by Nick Pelling, a British game developer. The term gamification did not become widely recognized until late 2010. Albert Einstein said, "Games are the most elevated form of investigation." Gamification is an exciting tool, a new way of thinking, a way to keep students engaged and excited. Gamification is not an excuse to play video games all day. As instructional designers, our task is to create a setting where students are motivated to learn as efficiently and enjoyably as possible. Piaget called the repetitive, pleasureful exercise of recently acquired skills practice games. By the time kids are 21, they've played 10,000 hours of video games, the same amount of time they've spent in school. Today's learners are digital natives. They require a new attitude to the learning process. It is a paradigm shift in the approach to learning. It's about engagement and creating meaningful learning experiences. Games have the added advantage of promoting interest and enhancing motivation when appropriately implemented. Gamification increases competition and involves creativity and student choice, which increases engagement. As teachers compete with the internet to gain and keep students' attention, gamification has become an increasingly popular tool used to pique interest in learning. Teachers must work harder than ever to keep students focused and excited about learning. Teachers are now tasked with looking beyond just lecturing students to finding new and creative ways to share content. If students are intrinsically motivated to learn something, they are likely to spend more time and effort learning, feel better about what they learn, and be more likely to use it in the future. With gamification, learners receive instant feedback, an engaged learning environment, personalization of their learning, a chance for proficiency where failure is an opportunity to learn, and a fun, dynamic, and engaging learning environment. Although gamification is not limited to the use of technology-driven games for educational purposes, educational video games account for a high percentage of all gamification efforts in education. It has been stated that the use of video games for educational purposes might motivate the new generations of students that have grown up in the age of video games. The most used gamification design principles are visual status, social engagement, freedom of choice, freedom to fail, and rapid feedback. All of these can be found in Minecraft.
Games also provide immediate feedback to students about their choices so they can take control of their own learning. This frees you up to evaluate more than just content knowledge and skills for a deeper understanding of what students are learning.
There are many benefits to gamification in education. Students feel ownership over their learning. There is a more relaxed atmosphere in regard to failure, since learners can simply try again. There is more fun in the classroom. Learning becomes visible through progress indicators. And students are often more comfortable in gaming environments.
They can help you figure out what your students know and how they think. Any kind of game has the power to make student thinking and doing visible,